What's up, everybody? I'm Ivan Vargas. Welcome to Local Sports Tonight, but today we're going to bring it to you in the afternoon. It was a long day yesterday. I was quite exhausted, so I had to hit the pause button, and I really wanted to come out here and talk about what's been going on in this week of sports in Chicago. And honestly, I'm happy because I got my buddy here with me, Big Z. Jose, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I'm excited, man. The second half of the season for baseball,
Mm-hmm.
football. No more football. No more Sundays and Saturdays without football for a very long time. It's an exciting time. We got the Bulls. They're in the summer league, so we got a couple players that are performing very well. The Sky are on the All-Star break. We got some news there. Tons of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it, bro.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Training camp has opened up for the Chicago Bears. Today was day one, I believe, right? Today's day one, or was it
Day two.
yesterday? Day two.
Yeah.
Today's day two. Yeah, that's right. Yesterday was day one. Today's day two. I'm like you mentioned, dude. It's almost here. It's almost upon us. I think the most anticipated Bear season and quite. I would say, honestly, it's since 18 or 19, right after the first year of Nagy. Everybody was like, "Yo, Bears, baby, Bears are back." We were not back. We were not back.
We were there for a little bit.
We were somewhat back. I guess we were. We dipped our
Khalil
toe.
Mack. It was a Khalil Mack trade that like everyone got excited for. Like, all right, we're going for it now.
We dipped our toe in the pool of success, and we were quickly pulled out of it. But nonetheless, like this year is a different story. It feels way more intense. Like the anticipation, the excitement, it feels way more intense than it did even with the 2019 team, right? I feel like the Chicago Bears have finally found the formula, have finally found the guy that run the Bears, and I'm talking about Ryan Poles.
Yeah.
I'm still, it's still yet to be seen what Matt Nagy truly is as a head coach. I know he's a good coordinator right now. He's really gelling, like the team's really kind of gelling around him. So maybe I'm looking into this a little. Eberflus. Maybe I'm looking into this a little too, strongly, or too like maybe I'm thinking he's a guy that's just going to continue to do the same old thing. Or maybe he adjusts. And maybe the Bears and you see Eberflus become a different team. You see Eberflus grow as the Bears grow. But yeah, very exciting. And screw it. Let's jump in there.
Yeah,
the Chicago Bears first two practices of the year. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the press conference. Matt Eberflus just spoke with the media today. They also have a couple other guys, some players, Montez Sweat, Keenan Allen also spoke. I will actually be playing, and I'm going to go ahead and plug myself in. Tonight, I will have another Bears show on. There will be another Bears show tonight. I will be playing all the interviews and talking about what they've discussed in those interviews. So if you want to join me tonight, it'll be at about, I'm thinking about setting it up for maybe 8:30. Just, keep a heads up. You'll see it, notify you if you are a TTNL fan. And definitely go check us out. I'm going to be talking mainly Bears, but mainly about what I see the Bears doing early in the season. I mentioned it before about their schedule, but we're going to do that. We're going to listen to Flus. We're going to listen to Montez. We're going to listen to Keenan Allen. But right now, let's go ahead and jump in. Let's get Matt Eberflus on here, and it's giving me an issue. Hold on. Let me get the audio back on there. There it is. All right, here we go. All right, this is Matt Eberflus speaking to the media after day two.
Happy surprise. That's it. It's good to be surprised sometimes. Okay. Don't have much of a statement here or an opening. Just to say that the first day was really good. You could see they leveled up. Guys studied and really knew the execution was good for the first day for sure. You can see that preparation really paid off for that. That's outstanding by those guys. And really, this whole process is going to be learning our team. We're just trying to learn our team so we can understand the skill sets we have, the continuity of each group. Different personnel groups on offense, defense, different, personnel groups and special teams, and just really know our team by the end of this whole thing. And really, why are we doing that? So we could get the skill sets in the right position, Okay, so we can leverage those skill sets. Okay, to find our winning formula. That's what we're doing here. So you'll see some different combinations during the course. Of course, personnel groups, you'll see that with receivers, but even on the offensive line, you'll see a little bit of that. You'll see different rush groups in there because 4 = 1 when you're rushing the quarterback. And so we'll do a lot of that during this process. And what that does is that gets experience and exposure for all these guys, okay, especially the quarterback, right? So we're going to give him variations of all coverage, all blitz, everything he sees, fronts, and everything he's going to see during the course of the year. And that's by design. So he gets that exposure and experience to that. And that was my point yesterday, really about talking about, hey, the preseason reps are important. I know everybody's, preseason bugaboo on that, like, holy Moses. Okay. But however, those are important. Like I said, equally important because, you get to see different skill sets and all that, but it's probably going to be a little bit vanilla, but you'll see the speed and all that other stuff. And our joint practice versus Cincinnati is going to be awesome. That's another opportunity. But the practice against our guys is the bulk of it. And that's going to be fun to see. And I told our guys yesterday, we need to have elite competition during this camp. And the way to do that is you have to take care of your body first so you can be available and out there, right? So the schedule is good for those guys. They can take the morning, get on the tables with the strength staff and the performance staff to get their bodies right, and then take the evening also during that process to get ready. Because we need everybody available to have that elite competition.
So a couple of things there. First, I was pretty animated by Flus with the whole, I want him to open up a little bit like that. You know what I mean? Like kind of just
personality. Show your personality.
Right. Show your personality. Don't be so, I got to read the script.
Yeah.
Go off script just a little bit, just so we could see the human side of you. And look, I mean, I'm not going to beat him up for that, but I liked it. I really liked him being a little bit more animated. The other thing, the level up term, like I whatever, I like it. You want to use it as, a mentality or something like that. I don't want to hear it a fucking million times this season. Like it's just, that's it. A buzzword does nothing for me. It does nothing for, I mean, it might do something for them to motivate them. And it's, it's something that stays, but I don't want to continue to hear this guy's trying to level up or like, we're trying to level up. Like it would, to me, that'll be a buzzword that bothers the shit out of us.
You can get really nauseous about it. And I mean, Joe Madden was like that. Every year he had a theme for this team. There's a lot of coaches that do that. They find a way to get a group together and believe into something. So if it's leveling up, not a fan of the term, but at the end of the day, this team needs to level up. We're at a process where we're a new organization where we're actually looking like a professional team out there. You're making moves. You're looking at a new stadium. You're getting, hard knocks. You're going to be playing overseas. You're doing all these things that big teams do, like, Kansas City does, New York does, LA does. We're starting to feel like the big boys now. And this is really nice. And you know what? I like you said, Flus is animated. I think he's excited. I mean, it's got to be an exciting time to start all over at the preseason and training camp and all that, and have all the guys there, not just all the rookies or some of the veterans. But it looks good, man. I'm really excited. I mean, everybody's excited about Bear season.
Oh yeah, and the other part of that too, and I really like the idea of there being an intensity, there being hey, when we're here practicing, not to be like blunt, but actually really straightforward. You have to be. Your ass is on the line every day of practice. If you want to make this team, the intensity of how you work out and how you practice and what you bring in preseason games, what you bring day in and day out of those practices during the week, during training camp, it is going to mean something. And if you're not able to give that amount of effort, and if you're not able to have the amount of intensity that they require for you, then I truly hope that they do move on from certain guys. I hope that they do, guys that maybe people think that are going to make the team might not make the team because they're, lacking in this, or they're lacking in intensity, or lacking in consistency, or what have you. I don't, oppose the idea of putting guys on notice if they're not giving you 100% of what you want as a coach, as a team, as a unit. It is what it is. Hard Knocks is coming in. You think you think the cameras are going to stop rolling? You know what I mean? Like, you think it's not going to get more intense. It's going to get more intense, and they need to step up. They need to really put themselves in the position of, I don't give a shit if they are my teammates, and you have to have some type of control, like, pull down the reins a little bit.
Mhm.
But every rep means something. So you're going to have to whoop somebody's ass who might take your job every rep. Every rep.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the biggest competitions is going to be at the running back and a wide receiver. DeAndre Swift coming in. We had Roshan Johnson last year. He was banged up a little bit.
Mhm.
And then you have the incumbent Khalil Herbert, who's already in the third slot now, and he might be on the bubble. He might get cut at the end of the, at the end of preseason and so forth. I mean, I think they'll keep Travis Homer because he's a fullback.
Mhm.
But that's going to be the competition right there between who's going to end up getting cut, and I really think it's going
Homer's
to be
a special team. Yeah, he's special teams. Or do they list him as a fullback?
okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. Maybe they did. Either way, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
he played a little bit of fullback and running back for us towards the end of the season. But
Okay.
whether it's Homer, it wouldn't be a big loss. But Herbert being here for so many years, and then they draft Roshan Johnson, who's got lots of tread on the tire, and then they
Mhm.
bring in a veteran with DeAndre Swift, and automatically, because of his pedigree, he's already the number one running back. And then you're looking at the wide receiver room. Obviously, we got DJ Moore, we got Keenan Allen, we got Odunze. Those are your three wide receivers. But you still have Pettis, Jones Jr., Tyler Scott, and then you have a bunch of rookies on there that I'm not even going to mention because I don't think they'll get that far. They'll probably be on special teams. I mean, Colin Johnson, DeAndre Carter, then Simba Webster. I mean, it's fun to say, but I think you're going to be on a special team, but it won't be with us.
Special teams are on a practice squad. I think that there's going to be a surprise or two, right?
Oh,
There might be a surprise or two. I think the biggest one, and I mentioned this for a while now, Khalil Herbert. You have Swift, you have Roshan, Khalil. I guess if you didn't go out and pick up, they have I think they brought in a couple running backs. I think they brought in a the kid from Howard, who is interesting. I think they're going to bring in a few running backs to keep, on the roster. Obviously, some will play special teams and be on, in other positions. Some will be a back, one will be a backup. A couple will end up on the practice squad, what have you. But I feel like if Khalil can't, be something, like, if he doesn't take that step in his career this year, he might be one of those guys on the chopping block. And it's not anything against him. It's just you haven't been able to stay healthy. Do you really fit in what they want to do? And also, it's just like, at the end of the day, if they bring in a guy, like, let's say this kid from Howard does something, and you like how he's been performing, and you just say, hey, maybe we need to make a change now, that could happen as well. So it's like, Khalil is a guy that really needs to have one hell of a training camp and a preseason to I think, possibly convince them that he's a guy they need to keep on the roster.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's going to be, he's on the bubble essentially, because
100%.
I think they're going to keep Roshan Johnson, but it's just like, are you going to be able to compete for that slot? Are you going to make that hard decision to get rid of Travis Homer or the kid from Howard? It's really that. And that's going to be one of the biggest battles. And the other thing that does concern me is obviously we have Caleb Williams at our quarterback. We don't have a seasoned veteran backing him up. So God forbid if something were to happen to Caleb Williams, it's going to be the Tyson Bagent show. And we all know what that looks like. That's Dinkin and Duncan. He doesn't have the downfield arm. I mean, they did pick up Brett Rimpkin, another backup.
Ripping. But yeah, he's just backups. Like he's a
professional backup.
Professional backup. And they still might even want to bring in a guy like, there's still rumors about Tannehill and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Tannehill
wants to start.
He wants to start. Not going to happen. For me, I really like I really like Bagent. I really think if Tyson Bagent stays and he grows as well, and whatever, I'm not saying Tyson Bagent is going to be the next coming, right?
No.
But in his career, this is how his career starts. You have to start somewhere, and
Yeah.
you have to be able to work towards something. So if Tyson Bagent continues to work, and let's say something clicks, let's say he even leaves the Bears move on from him or whatever, what have you. If he keeps that mentality, he could find success, man. Like he could end up, being a starter. Some fucking Matt Flynn got millions of dollars from the Seattle Seahawks to sit and watch Russell Wilson win a Super Bowl. That's pretty much what he did. And they thought he was going to be the starter. I remember it clearly because I was living up there. There was Matt Flynn jerseys everywhere, bro.
That's when he left the Packers, right?
Everybody was on a guy like Matt Flynn. Everybody's, oh yeah, Matt Flynn. He looked great. He come from the Packers. The guy barely even played. I don't think he played I think he might have played 1 or 2 actual regular season games, right? And then that was it. And I'm not saying that's going to be Tyson Bagent's future, but the way that Matt Flynn got a contract and the way that they saw and he was able to go ahead and show somebody wanted to go ahead and take a flyer on him and give him millions of dollars to do it. So if Tyson Bagent could grow as a player and continue to grow as a player, maybe there's an opportunity for him elsewhere. But development of the quarterback, regardless of what slot he's in, is a necessity for the Chicago Bears. Because if one goes down, you have a guy that you could trust waiting in the wings. And we need that.
And I think Bagent is one of those smart guys that understands the playbook. He when he came in, it felt like, oh, this guy knows the plays. He knows what to do, where to go, and what situation. He just doesn't have the arm for it. He reminds me a lot of Jim Miller. He was the backup. He came in, gave us a little bit of excitement, and then went back to being a backup. He's a smart guy. He can break down defenses. He can dink and dunk. Is he going to be a quarterback for the full season? No, no way in hell. But he's a good backup. But again, I'd rather have nothing against Bagent because I do love the kid, but I would want to have a veteran there just in case.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind a veteran. Mark, maybe Rypien is that veteran that they're going to keep there. But right now, if you ask me, and I know they still have to play the preseason, but right now, obviously, it's number 2 Tyson Bagent, number 3 Brett Rypien, and that's okay with me. Good morning, Dan. How are you? In hot Arizona, stay cool out there. Let's get back to Matt Eberflus.
So, questions?
Preseason reps.
What's that?
So for preseason reps, with Caleb, trying to balance out what he needs versus maybe some of your vets don't need it and probably don't want it.
That is a balancing act. That's a great question, Herb. It is a balance. You talk about a guy, for example, like Keenan, who's been playing for a long time. Is he going to get reps? We'll just have to discuss that. You know what I mean? And but you're always looking at the line, right? The protection part of it. That's the big piece of it. And we'll just see where it is.
When I think of Caleb
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, right?
catch and run, or should he?
Yeah. He played. I think when he's told me the other day, I said, "Man, you got a body. His body looks like a big safety, right? Almost. And I said, "Well," he goes, "I played running back." And then he said, "Also played linebacker." I said, "Oh, geez." I said, "You must be a tough guy, So, but he's a tough guy, and he's got good quickness. You saw that right there. He got good quickness. Obviously, good athlete.
On the other side of that, the instincts for Dexter to have this. I think he's the one who tipped the pass.
I don't know if he actually tipped it. Dexter's like as big as a mountain, so it might have hit him right in that chest, I think.
Matt, Ryan didn't mention Gerald Everett yesterday. Was that an unexpected thing that popped up after?
No, it wasn't. It was something that we knew from training. It was from training, and we'll see where it goes. It's day to day. We'll see where it goes. It's not nothing major. So that's where it is.
So we saw some Larry Borum at left tackle today. Was Braxton limited?
Yeah, so we got a couple guys that'll be limited to start. It'll be TJ Edwards, okay, it'll be Braxton. And that's also from the summer training. But we'll see where that goes. It's nothing major. You see, I saw them out there and walk through. They're moving around, so they're close. So we don't know how long that's going to be. The training staff will decide that.
You expect
We do. Yeah, we do. But again, that could, when you're flying to someplace, there's a thing called air traffic control. So it's like he may get delayed, it may get canceled. So that may happen.
when you talk to your guys about leading from the front, what does that mean to you, and how does it show itself in what you want?
Yeah, so I talked to the three things that I talked to the guys about that when leading from the front is first of all, you got to be able to perform at an elite level. So leading from the front, if you're the head chef, guess what? You got to know how to cook, right? You got to be able to perform and do your job, at an elite level. So that's number one. The second thing is to be able to compete. We want people that are alpha in terms of the competing. Alpha in your room, alpha in the league, and let's go compete at the highest level. And the last thing is be a great teammate. You have to be able to do a lot of things to be a great teammate. You have your private conversations where you're encouraging somebody, or maybe you're challenging them, and maybe it's in front of everybody. Sometimes you got to be able to ebb and flow and have the instincts to be a great leader. So really, those are the three things we talked about.
Specific guys to do that, or is that kind of a?
No, I am looking for specific guys. And I have conversations with each one of those guys. And I have conversations with the guys that are emerging leaders too. I'll bring them in my office. We'll talk about what that means for where you are right now. And then, because you're always in the development phase as a coach, you're developing obviously the skill sets and all those things and the fundamentals and knowing the scheme and all that. But more importantly, you got to lead from the inside out. If our team's going to be strong, it's got to be strong from the inside out. And then you got to develop those guys that are just coming in, the young guys, as leaders as well.
Man, what specifically have you guys done to mold Montez Sweat from being a very good pass rusher, but to become the type of pass rusher that you guys want to fit all of your criteria, including conditioning and things like that?
Yeah, he came back in great condition. That's the number one thing. He looks like he's in great shape. Conditioning test today at practice, which that's the first thing. So that he can put more good reps together and stack those reps, be out, whatever it is, 8, 10, whatever it needs to be, where we want him to go to. Because really for him, it's about getting that consistent get off, because once he does that, it's over. So I think when he does that, he's going to be elite and be dominant.
Does anyone stand out? Does anyone stand out of the emerging leaders that you just named? Does anyone catch your eye?
Yeah, I mean, they're emerging, so I just want to see who will grow into it. But yeah, I'm not going to name names, but it's throughout the whole team.
Name.
I always said the first rule of leadership is leading yourself. Be the great example, that you want to see in your teammates, and that goes in family life too. Be the great example of what you want to see in your family. And I tell them that same thing as well. But yeah, there's several guys that are there.
Matt, you said everyone leveled up over the summer.
See, there you go.
Where did you see him level up?
Yeah, just a general operation, right? First of all, we gave him a lot.
Wasn't there a Sierra song called "Level Up"? Is that?
We gotta have a
is that
level up
real?
counter.
Yeah,
We
it's
need
like,
a
we need a
level
level up counter now. Yes, yes,
We're at
a
2.
level up counter. I got to get one. I got to figure it out. We'll figure it out. We're at 2. Oh no, actually that's 4.
It's a 4.
Right. So and then in the summer, same thing. So formation, motion, understanding a concept. Run kills. Killing at the run, killing at the pass, alerts, all those things. We're a couple levels up, and you can see it. And how do you see it? You see it in the execution. They're in and out of the huddle. I think we only had one today where they weren't, and it was much better.
Yeah, when you watch practice or when you watch film of practice, how can you tell that you're getting elite competition this year that perhaps you didn't, that was different from what you saw last year?
Yeah, you'll be able to feel it. You'll be able to feel it. It's something that's palpable. You'll be able to feel it when you're out there. You'll see it. You just got to be able to. It'll be Keenan going against DJ going against one of them corners. You'll see it in the pass rush. You'll see it. And we're going to really foster that and making sure. And the guys want to. They want to do that because they know that to get ready for the first game, we're going to have to be sharp. And so that's a big part of that is that competition.
So see, that goes back to it's getting me excited, Jose.
Yeah.
It really is because it's like okay, and we talked about this on the Tape Never Lies. I think possibly whether it's the first practice that the fans are going to be able to go to training camp. I think that they're going to put pads on. I think that's what Shane was telling me the other day. I believe that's the case. And if that's the case, well then hell yeah. Like I would love to see some, and obviously there are people there. They pretty much have NFL narcs there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm sure they have other people in place within the facility that would probably go ahead and tattle if practices got, pretty intense. But like at a certain point, I think the Bears should embrace that. I think the Bears, and if the players are into it, then hey, maybe take a fine, because you're trying to prepare your team to go ahead and make a splash and do something this year. Make the play, like make the playoffs this year. The way that they discussed it, Flus and Ryan Poles the other day, it sounds like we're going to try to make a splash this season. That means playoffs to me.
It really does mean playoffs. I mean, we have everything ready for the playoffs right now. It all depends on the quarterback play. And I really think that, during practice, it's two different teams. It's or three different teams. You want to include special teams. It's offense and defense, right? And the defense is trying to kill the offense, and the offense is trying to bust up the defense. And the harder you make practice, the easier the games will be. It's just that simple. And, it's very simplifying it. But we do have a lot of injuries right now. And, Braxton Jones is questionable. TJ Edwards is questionable. Nate Davis is questionable. So you have some things that they need to figure out, right? And they're talking about moving guys around on the offensive line. Yep. I do not want to start that carousel this early in the season where we have to figure out who's going to play right tackle or left tackle or left guard, right guard, whatever it may be. I do not want to start that carousel. So let's make sure that these big guys are okay and ready to go. And they need to get as many reps as possible, because he was saying, the biggest thing with any offensive lineman or defensive lineman is that first step. Mm-hmm. If you're in pass protection, you're kind of like cementing yourself and putting your hands up to go backwards. And if you're going for run, obviously you take that first step forward to push the defensive line. And on the defensive side, it's really just about jumping that line, that cadence. So I really think like Montez Sweat is just going to be just fine. Just fine. It's just the other side. Is DeMarcus Walker going to be the complement that we need?
Yeah, absolutely. And Dan agrees with you. He doesn't want to see the carousel either.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wouldn't want that. Shit happens though, and then it goes back for me. It goes back to, are these guys, these younger guys, developed enough? And you suddenly have a veteran offensive line, by the way. You know what I mean? You suddenly have a majority veteran offensive line. Yeah. Like, it's not like these guys, they're still young. Like, I would still say Tevin's still young. Obviously Darnell's still young. You have Braxton that's still young, but they've been in the league for some years now. Like, you are not rookies. You are not, wet behind the ears still. You should be ready to establish yourself as a veteran. So I would say if it does go down that way, and with the moves that the Bears made, I feel like they will be okay, and somebody else will step up, as long as what Eberflus was talking about, as long as they keep that intensity and that mentality of every rep matters.
Yeah. Then
I think that they'll be able to have guys that they could trust if one guy goes down and they're ready to go. What's up, Lawrence? How are you? Dan also said that the first game from last season, and I'm going to even add one, the first game from last season and the last game from last season should be still in his mind, because you weren't prepared for the first game.
Yep.
And you weren't prepared for the last game.
Yep.
So what are you going to do game one right here? Excuse me if I hit that. Game one, to have your team prepared. The intensity needs to be stepped up, and I love it. So let's finish this out. We're a little bit halfway through.
The spot you just mentioned, wide receivers going against corners. You have potential Pro Bowl talent or Pro Bowl talent going against Pro Bowl talent at those positions.
Yeah, that would be my answer. Yeah, honestly, yeah, that's it. That's it. Because when it gets like that, because you have guys that are in that position, they're in that position for a reason. Why are they that way? Well, first of all, when you talk about elite guys like that, they're very, how do I say it? Like very comfortable in their own skin. They have very good clarity of who they are, right? And so when that happens, they're able to really understand, okay, here's where my weaknesses are, but here's how I can fix them. Okay. And then I can even look over to the other side and say, hey, here's where the limitations of this other player is. Okay. Because they're comfortable in their own skin, be able to do that and critique themselves. But they're also believing themselves at a very high level. And that's where the competition comes. So it's going to be exciting to watch.
Understanding there's going to be rotating and competition at center. What do you like about Bates in that spot? And in particular, alongside Caleb, is he up for next step?
Yeah, we ask our centers to have really good movement skills, and be very intelligent. Movement skills in such a way because we run a lot of inside outside zone. We're jumping to the second level to the linebackers, so they got to be able to get on them and stick on them and stay. So he has that, and then the ability to make the calls, right, move the protections, when need be, communicate, be a great communicator, and that's what Batesy does.
Ma'am, a schedule question for you. We didn't see Family Fest at Soldier Field on the camp schedule this year. What went into the decision to not have that?
Concert, I believe it was a concert.
What concert?
I wish that we had it. I love that
The Metallica?
experience, because it's great for the players to be able to get in there and do that, so just didn't work with the Hall of Fame game and where the schedule fit and how the sequencing of practices and days off worked out this year.
So Metallica is to blame because it is Metallica, right? On the 9th, I believe. So Metallica comes to Soldier Field, and now we can't have Family Fest because of Metallica. You're blaming Metallica for this? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I feel. Oh, Jose, I think your device. If you could hear me, Jose, your device. It says device not connected. Maybe try to refresh. Restart. Oh, there he is.
Technical difficulties. Yeah, Metallica. I mean, yeah, that's pretty cool concert, but Bears should take precedent over this.
Yeah, honestly, I don't blame Metallica. I feel like this is an excuse. It's just with the days off and stuff, it just doesn't work out. Just make it I know you want to set it up for a weekend, but you just make it happen. Just make it a
practice.
Just a practice. Just let them. There's no reason. I don't think there's a reason, really, a real reason that you can't have a Family Fest.
No, they can make it happen if they wanted to. I think because of the cameras, because of the Hard Knocks thing, I think they're trying to focus on letting HBO do their thing, and having it at a central location. Family Fest might be something that might bring some stuff they don't want on camera.
Right.
If they have a bad performance, they're getting booed or something. They don't want that on the camera. So that might be it. Lauren says that's why we need a new stadium. Yeah, we do. We need a stadium with a practice facility attached to it. Definitely, that'll happen. It's going to go to Arlington. People, I mean, I don't think people are delusional about it's going to be in Chicago. We know it's not going to be in Chicago. It's just a matter of paying the piper.
Well, guess what? I'm gonna go see Metallica. How's that? I'm still gonna go see Metallica, and I still want my fucking Family Fest. But I guess I can only have one. Thanks.
Are you saying just to clarify, there was one day where it would fit your schedule? That day it was.
No, I think it was a couple. Days. That was way back when we were putting the schedule together. So I don't actually remember all the particulars, but I think it was a couple days.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, you guys have a good day.
All right, that was Coach Eberflus of the Chicago Bears. Wasn't it? I mean, I feel like it wasn't really a typical Eberflus, even though he sounds like typical Eberflus. He was a little bit more. He was a little bit more loose. He was a little bit more, I would say he was open with how they want practice to be going. Like I said, that intensity, that constant, every rep matters type of approach to practice. That's what I want too, man. I want your calisthenics to be intense. You know what I mean? Jumping jacks, intense ass jumping jacks.
Let's go. Burpees, yeah. Do it all. Yeah.
Right, but in all seriousness, I want that. Every rep matters because it fucking does.
It does,
and it will game 1, and it will game 18.
Yeah.
Just like I said, and Dan, Dan said it. Game 1 and game 18. When you got your ass whooped game 1, you got your ass whooped game 18 against the Packers. That should be the biggest embarrassment of any. It was hard to watch this last season, but that for a head coach, that should be resonating right now. Still, like Dan had mentioned, it should be festering in your brain, bothering you, eating away at everything. At all your thoughts, because all you know is your team needs to be prepared game 1. Because if they're not prepared game 1, there's a good chance that they're not going to be fucking prepared game 18.
Yeah. It
So-
really does matter because they should play that beginning of practice, game 18. Look
Yep.
at the lackluster performance that everyone, and I know some people weren't on the team at that point, but the lackluster performance. And this is where we're missing assignments. We can't miss assignments
Nope.
anymore. We are a premier football team now. We're
Mhm.
trying to make the playoffs. We're getting the spotlight from the NFL. Let's go. Let's show everybody that Chicago is on the map, and we're coming for the North.
I would love it. I'd love to see it. Yeah. So Bears camp opens. This is day 2. Looking forward to it. I'll be there next week on Friday. Thanks to Sean Stewart. Sean commenting here today. Appreciate you, Sean. So yeah, I mean, like we're gonna be able to. I'm gonna be able to see Caleb. I'm gonna be able to see that intensity. Hopefully that he's been alluding to. Yeah, I'll actually be at a couple of training. I believe 3 this year. So I'll be there. Being able to see. And I'll be focused. And I believe this year I'm gonna start doing lives, especially for this show and also for TTNL. I'm gonna do just pop up live on my either Facebook or Instagram. I haven't decided yet, or even YouTube, and just make cut basically a breakdown of what I saw. You know what I mean? A post practice type of breakdown, fresh in my mind. But nonetheless, very exciting time for the Bears. Hope to see you guys out there. Again, appreciate you, Sean, for offering up the ticket. Should be a good time. Let's go ahead and move on. Again, I will be on later on tonight. Another Bears show. We'll be talking more. We'll have Flus on again, and then we'll also go through the other interviews that they had today as well. So more Bears tonight. I'll definitely, it'll be the first another Bear show in quite some time. I think since probably after the draft or something like that. Something like that. I don't remember. It was exactly. It all blends together. But let's go ahead and move over to baseball. The All-Star break is over. You all say no, right? Do we have to? The All-Star break is over. Cubs doing Cubs things and Sox doing Sox things, right? Like
it's Bear season. All right,
it's Bear season. Hey,
we're
Bear
done.
season. All right, let's move on. No, but so the Cubs dropped a game yesterday.
Yeah.
To the Arizona,
Diamondbacks.
The Diamondbacks, the runners-up in last year's World Series, a team that snuck in because the Cubs weren't able to get the job done last season.
Right.
And again, Justin Steele, I'm not going to blame it on Justin Steele. The Arizona Diamondbacks got on him early, but 10 runners in scoring position left on base by the Chicago Cubs. That will not cut it. That will not cut it. I don't care how good Justin Steele pitches. And even if Justin Steele were to, like you said, he did run into some trouble early. We need an offense that we can trust to get us back into the game, right? To keep it, all right, we're down 4-1 or we're down 4-0 in the third or in the fourth. They jumped out on us in the first couple innings. We need somebody to go ahead and be that clutch bat when we have 2 guys on in the 5th and we have an opportunity to come back and rattle the pitcher and get in his head and really put a drive into this ball club. But for whatever reason, the Cubs, they just keep doing this, right? They keep reverting back to this, team that can't hit with runners on, that has pretty solid pitching, and that gives up runs late. And I don't like that. And I know it's only been one game after the break, and the Cubs were on fire, before the break happened. But I had said it before, like, that's fine. I like that the Cubs, they great series against Baltimore, great series again, good series against the Cardinals. I felt like they should have won that 3-1, but again, it doesn't give me the confidence to say that this ball club is going to make the playoffs 100%. So I need to see, you need to find a way to beat this Diamondbacks team in this series. And you need to win you need to string like 2 or 3 series together before I really start to believe again.
I don't think anybody believes at this point. I mean, I'm looking at the stats from yesterday: 13 total strikeouts,
Mhm.
and then you combine that with how many left on base? 11,
I believe 11, 10, 10, 11, something like that.
whatever.
Too much, too many, too many.
Right, and then not being able to score the first 5 innings. I mean, that puts a lot of pressure on your pitching. If you cannot give them runs to give them a little bit of comfort, a little bit of cushion, that's ridiculous. And they did jump on you. They put 5 runs in the first 5 innings, and then you come up with 1 run here, 1 run there, and that was it. Like it's not enough. And you're looking at, and I've been saying this on True Chicago, where there's no one in this lineup that scares anybody. There's no one that, oh, we got to pitch around them because they're going to hit a home run. There's nobody on this. I mean, Swanson is having a down year offensively. I know he's not a savior. Morel, obviously, you know what Morel is. He's a firecracker. If you light him up, he's great, and sometimes he's a dud. You got Hap, same thing. It's either it's hot or cold with this team, and no one is getting. There's not like a momentum where everyone's getting hot at the same time. Everyone's just cold. And it's not helping your pitching staff that has been pretty good. Your starting pitching has been pretty good all season. Steele was what 4.4, almost 5 innings pitching, give up 9 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts.
Not good.
It wasn't a good start. But at the same time, where's the offense? Michael Busch, where are you? Suzuki, where are you? Morel, where are you? Where's the $1 million man?
Yeah.
He didn't even play yesterday.
No.
I just also what are you going to sell? There's nothing here to sell.
No, well, they got interest. There's it said that no, Bill Bellinger, but also Tyone has drawn some interest.
Yeah.
I would be a guy to say like I would be one to say that anybody on this roster is open to getting traded for the Cubs.
Yeah.
Except for Imanaga, because you like he's
definitely,
rookie year. So like there's guys on this roster right now, this MLB roster that I definitely could see being moved. My thing is like, okay, if you move these guys, are you going to bring up the young talent, or are we going to just sit on our hands and try to play this? We're trying to play this other, this game where, all right, we don't want to give him that much MLB time, and we want to control that control again. You know what I'm saying? Where you're trying to control
one extra year of control.
That one extra year of control, and it's like, dude, your ball club is suffering because you're trying to control things that are out of your control. You need to go ahead. If Matt Shaw down in the minors is a guy that could play third base, and he's able to hit consistently in the major leagues. Isn't that a good thing for us, regardless of the amount of control you have over him? Like, it just seems to me like certain things could be different if the Cubs were able to make adjustments like that.
It's so counterproductive because if he's going to be a good player, you're going to re-sign him before he gets to his last year anyway. So it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So give him a cup of coffee, see what he can do. If he can hit, great. Obviously, we know he can field, so that's not going to change. But can he hit major league pitching? Okay. Right. And then can he adjust after the pitchers adjust to him? That's what makes a superstar.
Right.
And we got to see what we got, because right now the Cubs are stuck in the mud in last place.
Yeah, it's definitely spinning our tires. And everybody's like, I said it before, I need to see more consistency. I need to see multiple series wins before I go ahead and say, yeah, the Cubs are back. They're going to make a run. You can't just do that off of 2 good, decent, yeah, you beat the Orioles. I'll give you that. They're, one of the better teams in baseball.
Right.
But you have the All-Star break coming up. Maybe some guys were, kind of dialing it back a little bit. I don't know. I'm not going to make excuses for the other teams, but the Cubs were able to do their job. Now, continue to do that. Continue to do that. 1 series win, 1 series tie. I need to see more. Find a way to beat the Diamondbacks, and then maybe I'll start to be a little more lenient on my my critique of the team, because right now it's just I don't see them making the playoffs, man. No. I just don't.
No, they got to jump like 6 teams to get out into the wild card.
Right.
And that's the thing is that I don't know what's going to happen with the trade deadline because there's so many teams with the new extra wild card that are in it because of that. They're all within like 3 games from each other. So, one series here, one series there, you're back in it. And the Cubs, I don't see them in the next 10 days to turn it around and jump on fire or to go up to Jed like, don't trade us. We want to stay together like last year. And guess what? You messed up one game that cost you getting into the playoffs.
It is, yeah. It sucks, man. I wish it was more transparent about the direction and just kind of where this organization is going as a whole. Because right now you're saying we have a lot of talent. We obviously want to continue to build our minor league system, but the big ball club is suffering, and the big ball club has talent on it that could possibly get you into the playoffs. Not everybody's going to work out, but hell, you got to at least see it. You got to at least, if Matt Shaw isn't the third baseman of the future, and let's say, since they drafted Cam Smith, let's say Cam Smith is, well, you still got Shaw, who's still a good glove, who probably could play like a second, right?
Yeah.
There's so many things that you could do with the guys that they have down there. I just don't know why they're sitting on their hands doing nothing. Let's go over to the Sox. Let's go over to the White Sox. Jose, how's the Southsiders doing?
We're drowning in our tears. It's really how many games are we going to lose? We're going to lose 100 games. How much over is it? And you know what? I'm going to look on the betting sites and see what the odds are for, because I think they're going to lose about 107. I'm going to go with 107 as the magic number because I don't see them winning 30 games. Coming the next 30 games coming out of here. I mean, they got their ass spanked by the Kansas City Royals. One of our decent pitchers, Chris Flexen, who might get traded. He should get traded. Get him somewhere else. Give up 7 runs. And Pedro can't manage a bullpen. He had the bases loaded. He's like, all right, go ahead, keep pitching. Gives up a double. And then he's like, okay, now we'll take you out. Like, bro, you're the biggest clown. And if you watch the pre and post game with Ozzy's like, look, dude, I have nothing against Pedro, but what the fuck is he talking about? He has no idea what he's doing. He's like, I don't want his job. I'm just telling you, honestly, this is what the issue is. Pedro has no idea what he's doing. He's literally like blindfolded, driving with his foot stepped on the gas like a senior citizen, just like he doesn't know what he's doing. And I know the White Sox had a pretty good draft, and I'm not going to go down the 45 picks that they made, but I mean, it is time. They made some moves, and not Buster only. One of the reporters, he said that Crochet is pretty much intimate of getting traded. Which I see because they DFA'd Martin Maldonado, who had 11 hits all season, something like that. Like, I don't know how he had a job. And Pedro defending him. Oh, yeah, he was great for the ball club, and he did this, and he did that. If he did all those great things, he'd be a better player. Simple as that. They brought up this kid named Chucky Robinson from the Charlotte Knights. Awesome name. He's a new backup catcher. Mendick gets sent for assignment again. Poor kid. Every time he gets, he was killing in the minors for the White Sox. Comes up, they yo-yo him up and down. It's like the kid can play defense. He can, if he got a chance, he's a good player. Sosa got hot before the All-Star break, and they sent him down. It's just, I don't understand what they're doing. I really do not understand what they're doing.
I was going to ask you, why don't you trade us Lenyn Sosa? I kind of like Lenyn. He has, like, I don't know. He has some power. He's got some pop. We saw that. Yeah. We saw that together at Wrigley.
Yeah.
He's been doing good playing third.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I wouldn't mind trading for Lenyn Sosa and just, like, let's see how he does at third. Like, I mean, obviously you're making moves for the future if you're Cubs at third base, like I mentioned, Cam Smith. But
Yeah, you need a stopgap.
I need a stopgap, and Lenine was on fire. But maybe something,
Yeah, we'll take him for a vending
Smart.
machine or a can
I'll
of Coke.
give you Miles Mastroboni and
It can't be anywhere.
Hayden Wisniewski for
Fucking worse.
for
Send it. Just send them over.
send them over.
Send a card and this way.
And an autographed baseball. That's what's
It'll be a Ryan Sandberg autograph baseball and a statue. A mini
Yeah,
statue.
little
There you go.
bobblehead statue.
Little bobblehead statue. Yeah, that's what you gotta say. I mean, it's a laughable joke because we have Moncada who's supposed to be coming back after the All-Star break, still not back. You have who's our pitcher that we signed that's also Clevenger.
Yeah,
Right elbow inflammation. Bro, they're just sitting him down and they're gonna have him pitch the rest of the season once they trade everybody.
I believe it. I believe it. I think everybody I think right now I think they've sent guys down that aren't going to be traded, possibly, and they're just bringing up guys they're letting other guys showcase what they got, who they want to be.
Yeah, but also made no sense to go sign somebody. I think from the Nationals, Nick Senzo. He was hitting like 228 or something. Like, why are we picking up other people's garbage?
Well, again, like I said, you could package that. You could go ahead and throw him in a deal and be like, "Hey, you also need a backup outfielder, don't you? Well, here's Nick Senzel, and you could give us something else that might work out, like adding chips to the deal. However, it's been done before. Guys gone on the team and been traded right out.
I'm looking at my starting lineup. Tommy Pham is going to get traded. Benintendi should get traded. Robert Jr. He probably gets traded in the offseason. Because I don't think teams have confidence that he can stay healthy.
Right.
Vaughn, trade him. You put him in a package. Eloy, oh my God, send him somewhere. Send him to Cuba. Send him to Venezuela. Somewhere, bro. Because I cannot stand the way this kid runs. He runs upright. The first.
He runs like his knees. He runs with his knees buckled in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and then he pulls up before the base. I'm like, no, run through the base. Oh my God, this is like pee-wee baseball that the fundamentals he doesn't have. He's just, maybe that helmet's on too tight.
I think it's. We talked about this before. I think the millions of dollars might have had something to do with certain guys and how their drive for the game changed.
That's exact. And you know what, Rick Hahn tried to take a different approach and say, you know what, we're going to secure our future for the years to come, and these are our prospects that we traded for, we drafted, we grew them up, and they came up together through Charlotte, and they played well, and now they're not. Paul DeJong playing awesome. That's somebody you should. My third.
Paul DeJong hates the Chicago Cubs.
I know he does. He was a former Cardinal.
He's no. I mean, he was also born in Illinois. Like, he was born in northern Illinois. Hates the guy. I think he's a Sox fan.
He might be.
I think he might be a Sox fan. Regardless. No, thank you. I don't need no John Starks over here ruining my team, okay?
Oh my God. What a horrible memory. John Starks in a Bulls uniform.
Right?
Oh my God. Yeah, we called up Brooks Baldwin. He played second base. The kid got his first major league hit. That was cute. Whatever. Good for him. And then Corey Lee. I think between everyone that started yesterday, the only person I'm keeping is Corey Lee.
Of course.
Finally got a catcher.
You got a catcher?
You would die for a catcher right now.
I'm beyond pissed off with the catching situation. I played. I was a catcher.
Yeah.
Played ball for a long time. Obviously nothing professional-wise, but just some of the little things with how I've been seeing these catchers behind the plate defensively. Like, what the fuck? It just seems lazy to me. Like some of the shit seems lazy. It's like a lazy ass mistake, bro. Like, why are you not, first of all, why I don't like when catchers go down to one knee to catch the ball, because you're limiting yourself to where how you can move and how you could get around a baseball to go ahead and block it in the dirt. You're limiting yourself.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of catchers, including a Miguel Amaya, that do that. And it's like, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it's the time to move on and the time to find a stabilized catcher and a solid backup is now, because I just can't sit here and stomach watching Miguel Amaya and Nito, and when we had Yan Gomes, it's rough to watch. It's really rough to watch bad catching.
Hey, we had Martin Maldonado. So
And you had Martin Maldonado. Exactly. It's been a shit show for catchers in Chicago.
oh my God, we literally had the worst catching duel in MLB. It's bad, man. I mean, it's hard to watch, man. It's really hard to watch. I'm looking at the rosters for both our AAA and AA team, and there's some talent there, and I don't think they're going to pull them up yet until they finish making all these trades. Which the sooner the better.
Oh yeah,
I really think, like, you as a White Sox GM, you've got to get ahead of the curve. Hey, this is the price. This is the price. This is the price. Let's work something out. It balls in your court. Let's go. We've got 9 days, because I don't want to wait till the last fucking second. And there's gonna be a lot of shuffling around, and I can't wait for it. And the people give a shit about the stadium is empty. That's fine. I don't care. I get to sit wherever I want. So it's done before. That's the best part of it. That is the best part of it. I can sit really close for $5. Thank you very much.
To be honest, we actually have to go to I haven't gone to a Sox game in a couple of years. I think the last. No, I'm wrong. Wait, no, I'm right. Couple years. I think it was Cubs Sox when Schwindel and Wisdom first came up.
Okay.
So yeah, couple of years ago, it was Cubs Sox. Cubs actually pulled it off at the cell, or whatever you want to call it now. But yeah, while going to a Sox game, I feel like you could do pretty much whatever you want. Like, as long as you're not shooting people in the stands, you can do whatever you want.
But okay, I'm gonna change it around. If the Cubs sell, and they continue to lose, is that ballpark still gonna get full past the summer? So in August, like late August,
late August.
Yeah, when everybody goes back to school and everybody goes back to work, like, is it still gonna be jam packed?
I would say it would be. I'll say there'll still be fans in the stand, like it's a significant amount of fans in the stands, only because, like, you go to Wrigley. I'm telling you, I've one of the first a few times earlier this year ran into I believe it was this year or maybe it was last year. Ran into an Australian couple that was visiting. You know what I'm saying? They're visiting. So, like, you got that tourism. People want to see.
Yeah.
It's a national landmark. You know what I mean? Like, it's what would have been a national landmark? Comiskey Park.
Yes.
Comiskey Park would have been a fucking national landmark too, had somebody put the money and effort into it and preserving
it was in shambles by the time Reinsdorf got the team. That stadium,
right.
It really was like, water was leaking everywhere.
Right.
But it was a beautiful stadium. It really was.
Right. And like I said, if somebody had had the thought to go, hey man, like, we got a gem here, a diamond in the rough. It's falling apart, yeah, but prior to when Ryan, if we could maintain the quality, you could have had something great, because, like, the scoreboard was amazing. You even, like, when you look at old pictures, you can't replicate that scoreboard, bro. You can't replicate that. Like, and that's kind of how I felt, New Comiskey Park tried to do that, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like, looking at old pictures, looking at old videos and stuff like that, like, God, you had Wrigley, you had your own Wrigley. You had Wrigley in the South Side, and
especially with that the outfield where it was 2-tiered, and then it had the canopy over, it had the metal canopy over, and people were like, "Man, that was a moonshot! It hit the roof." And people talk about Greg Lewinsky and Ron Karkovice and all those guys that played there, and Ozzie Guillen played there, and just they would say, like, it was way more intimate. It was kind of like, I would equate it to, if you've never been, I would equate it to like the old Chicago Stadium, where the acoustics were just perfect. It was electric. Yes, it was old, but it was our old and it was, I don't know, it was just the nostalgia. Like it was awesome, and we've lost both of those in recent times, and it's just now we have these plain Jane, generic stadiums. It's there's really no character.
And I never went to either. I was just too young, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. I do remember going to, I think it might have been the first or second year Comiskey Park reopened, the new one across the street. I went there because my family's all Southsiders. Like they brought me out there. Fucking Frank Thomas is the man. Still is, in my opinion. Even as a Cubs fan. But yeah, it was like going there, and I was like, oh wow, it was jam packed because like everybody wanted to see the new stadium and stuff.
91.
So I think it was like 93.
Yeah,
you got was that the ticket?
Yeah, this is a 20-year anniversary ticket. So I got it on April 7, 2011 for my season tickets, and so I got it with my section. So section 4, row 7, seat 11. So it's pretty cool. It's a little cool gift that they gave me.
Right. Yeah, I think it was past 93, maybe like 95. I'm trying to like. I was a little kid.
You were there with blue seats.
Yeah, I was there with the blue. Exactly. I was there with the blue seats. I was in right field, and I believe Albert Bell hit an opposite field home run. Was it Albert? See again. I'm lost.
We had Albert Bell. We had Bo Jackson. We had Frank Thomas. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I'm trying to remember the time because I remember Albert Bell was on the team. He had Frank. Pretty sure, obviously, Bo was on the team at a time, but I'm not sure if he was on the team then.
Well, it had to be 95 because that was after the strike.
Yeah. It was, yes. So it was 94, 95, somewhere in there, whatever it was. But yeah, so just the intimacy, like you said, when I go to Wrigley feels like you're at home. You know what I mean? Almost. Obviously, it's not your home, but Wrigley Fields is it's called the friendly confines for a reason. Everybody, majority of the people that are there, working there, are great people, and they try to keep it, lighthearted and hope you have a good time. And I do, I have a good time every time I go to Wrigley. I wish there was that intimacy on the South Side. I really do. You go to the park now, and I'll tell you this, it's just better accommodations, right?
Yeah,
it's newer,
seats are bigger.
it's safer, bigger.
Yeah.
But again, you lose some of that connection to, everything, you know what I mean? For instance, I know they got the shower still at the cell, but it's not the same shower as it was.
No.
You know what I mean? Right there, pull it down. Just walk off the bleacher, pull it down, and you're nice and cool again. Go sit down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So regardless of that, it sucks that the Sox are where they are now. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I really don't.
It just makes it more exciting when both teams are in it. It really does.
Yes.
No, and for the past couple of years, I've been cheering for the Cubs. I'm like, hey man, I hope they fucking make it because I love baseball. This is my sport that I love enjoying, and I watch. I can watch Kansas City versus Arizona. I can watch that game. It's kind of like NFL football. I can watch any NFL football game. There's no bad NFL football game because the NFL is on. So for me, it's like we have the fan base, but the fan base will not show up for a shitty team. It's been proven over and over and over. Yes, you can give us a marketing ploy and we'll show up for 1 or 2 games. The Mexican Heritage Night, first sellout.
First sellout. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
Standing room. I was there, standing room only. It was great. And having one of the biggest Mexican demographics in the country, why are you not catering more to that? Why are you not catering to the Polish people? You have the second most Polish people outside of Poland. Why are we not catering to the people that live here and support the team? Yes, Harry Carey was.
No, he said he got drunk with him.
Oh, wow.
Dan's in Arizona, but Dan's in Chicago.
Yeah, I see that. That is awesome. That is an awesome story. Yeah. Yeah, you guys also got Harry Carey from us.
I wish yeah, that is true. See, send us another Sosa. Send me another Sosa. I'll take another Sosa from the Sox. Who knows what might happen?
Right. Give him some juice and watch him hit 50 homers.
Yeah, Lenine might find some new vitamins.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, great. It was a great show. I love coming on and just shooting the shit. Especially got my guy Jose with me. I need another beverage, and I need to start cleaning up the house and doing all the weekend things, weekend chores. So that's a wrap for us here today. We appreciate you guys watching. Everybody that tuned in, commented, and joined us for this episode of Sports. Jesus, did I just put Sports Talk Chicago? Oh my gosh, why did I say? Why did I put? Has that been on the whole time?
I don't see it. Oh, TT now at the bottom.
No. I don't know why I had Sports Talk Chicago on there. Oh my gosh, I think I meant Local Sports Talk Chicago, and I guess it's too late to fix it now. But you know what it is. They know it is. Whatever.
Local Sports Chicago.
Shit happens, it is what it is. But anyway, for Jose, I'm Ivan Vargas. We appreciate you guys joining us. That's a wrap from here. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Later.